Buyer's remorse.
Hello and welcome to Buyer's Remorse. I'm Darren.
I'm Justin.
And on this show, we take a look at games that are sitting in our library unplayed. And I pick one for Justin, Justin picks one for me, and we have to play it for an hour. And hopefully that hour is something nice and fun, not like walking through hell. I chose, probably something that was close to driving through hell, at least for you. What was it called?
Zombie Car Massacre.
Yeah, it looks a bit like Carmageddon, this one, but just with the zombies killing the zombies.
Kind of. This game is from September of 2017. The developer and publisher, Drunken Apes.
It's a Drunken Apes game.
It is.
Oh man, those guys. Have you seen their catalogue?
I actually have a couple other games in my library that I haven't touched, but one looks really interesting, which is this puzzle game where you move the room around.
Okay, haven't seen that one, but
I think it's called Mind Cubes.
Oh, yeah.
And that looks pretty amazing. And their description of themselves on each of their Steam page, it's the same description. We're just a couple guys that want to make interesting experiences, raw and short. And yeah, after playing this, I kind of understand where they're coming from or what they have envisioned for themselves. And this game has mixed reviews, but there's only 20 reviews, and we're going to get into that. But keep in mind the whole time, this game at base price is $1.
Right, okay.
The description, in all caps, by the way, on the Steam page, is drive to spooky Gravetown and smash all these nasty zombies to mud. It's time to go on a massacre. And there it is. I'm pretty sure I got this in a bundle of some sort.
I've got this game too. It came from Fanatical. It was the $1 bundle or something like that.
Let's talk about this game. So this game, my notes are kind of all a mess of being out of order because there's not really a story to this game. You start on the menu screen and it's very simple. You have 4 cars to choose from, and that's pretty much all you choose. There are no options for this game. There's no settings for this game. Just, you either get to start or quit.
Okay, fair enough.
But there are 4 cars to choose from. You have something that looks like a red Cadillac. You have a monster truck, a giant jack-o'-lantern on wheels, and what I would refer to as a death train.
Okay.
One major problem with the game that I also saw a complaint about in the reviews is that there was no sound when I started.
Oh, okay.
And that does make it rather boring with no sound.
Oh, there's no sound in the game at all? Or can you switch it on?
There are no options.
Oh.
So let's continue on. In the game, you have essentially 2 enemies. There seems to just be skeletons and zombies. There are also these ghost skulls that appear, but they appear to be more for appearance and atmosphere because they don't seem to affect anything.
Okay.
You have a health bar, so as you crash into your enemies, you tend to lose health. Occasionally I found a star, which was an invincible temporary bit where you could run through a lot of zombies and take no damage. But the basic premise of the game is try to kill as many of the enemies before you crash, before your car is destroyed.
Okay. Was there like a time limit as well, or?
There seems to be no time limit.
Okay.
I know this because after getting bored of just driving through zombies and skeletons, I decided to see what else was on this map. Keep in mind, there's only one map. There's only one level.
I was going to ask you, is it like a straight track, or is it more like a sandbox map where you can go in any direction you want?
You can go any direction you want.
Okay. Can you hit the edge of the map? Did you get to the end?
Oh, yeah. I found one place where you could... Well, let's talk about the map first. So the map, my guess, is one giant square. There are buildings where you start off, so it looks like a tiny village. Behind those buildings, there are some windmills. And behind the windmills, there are what looks like a desert, kind of Grand Canyon walls.
Okay.
To try and keep you in. However, I did find a gap and drove through it. And essentially, what you see is a dark horizon with a light green sky above it. And as you fall, you see the lines of movement. So when your car goes fast, you get these lines of movement. But you're just falling, and it never stops falling. You basically have to leave the game and come back again.
Right.
So yeah, there is an end. You could find the end of the map and jump off it.
So is it like one of those things where you're just falling and then like the map is just receding into the distance above you kind of thing to a tiny square?
You see, from what I could see, is that green horizon line eventually disappears.
Right.
And then you're just falling into this dark purple abyss. You can also jump on a lot of dirt ramps and things.
Okay.
For no purpose, just because I was bored. But there are some where if you jump in the right way, you actually look straight up. And for some reason, if you look straight up, you just see these concentric circles above you.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that was just in the engine and they've left it there, or if that's by design. And if so, I don't know why. There's a quote-unquote creepy moon off to the side with a face, of course.
Okay. Yep. As you need.
And that's kind of it. I pretty much felt I had played this game, and I only had 43 minutes left to play. There's really nothing to this game.
I mean, what about the mechanics? Like, how does the car handle? How does it feel?
It handles all right. It's one of those games where, as in real life, you can't really turn unless your car is moving. So you have to be moving forward or backward to get it to turn at all. You don't really have any sort of quick turn. You don't have any...
Like handbrake turn?
No.
No.
You don't have any sort of special abilities. So this isn't quite like a Twisted Metal or a Carmageddon. You don't get missiles or guns to take out the zombies. You have to just run them over. At about 22 minutes to go, music kicked in.
What?
But only for like 30 seconds. And it was gone. I'll skip ahead a bit because this happened. I went, well, clearly there is music then.
Yeah.
I thought there just wasn't because of that complaint in the review. So I had been listening on my Bluetooth headphones, turned those off. Suddenly, apologies to my neighbors, the music was on and very, very loud. So I'm not sure why it wasn't working with my headphones. But then when I turned my headphones back on, now the music's working in my headphones.
That's weird.
So I don't know what was going on there. This doesn't tend to happen with any other game. If it does, then the game kind of freezes and I have to restart it. I've never had this where it just didn't work like it was supposed to be.
Yeah, I've never heard of that either. That's odd.
So it's a totally new thing to me. But then for the last third of the hour, I was able to play with the music. And it, like the level, there's only one. So get used to the same song.
Is it
over
any
and
good
over.
at least?
It's not bad.
Yeah.
But it's not catchy. It's not like I want to listen to it for 22 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. Was it just like a 3-minute song, basically looped?
Yes. That's pretty much what I'm assuming it is.
Well, maybe you're lucky that it didn't play for the full hour.
Possibly. But maybe I didn't get the full experience.
Yeah.
I will say, though, getting sound effects helps.
Oh, did you have no music or sound effects?
I had no sound at all. So I was just...
nothing.
For like 40 minutes, I was driving around with nothing, just crashing.
How are the sound effects when you hit the zombies then? Is it like squelchy?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
It's not quite as satisfying as you'd hope. Here's the thing. I feel like this game, it's very cartoonish in a way. The zombies and the skeletons, the way they spawn is kind of funny because they come out of the ground, as zombies should.
Right.
But not as though they're digging their way out. They're just moving as they would be normally, but slowly rising.
Like they're on an elevator out of the earth.
Kind of. Because you can see the way that they're moving. The zombies kind of walk in this dancing way. So you can see that they're doing that even as they're emerging out of the ground. But it is really funny to be able to hit the heads.
Right.
Like they can't even attack you. As a top score, I got 310 points.
Is that good?
I have no idea.
Well,
There's no measure except for your own top score. There's no leaderboard.
Right.
There's no anything. You can, as I said before, get stars. In their description of the game, it sounds like there are some sort of power-ups, or maybe there are ways to replenish your health, but I didn't find them. I did find that some buildings I could drive right through.
Mm-hmm.
Windmills in particular, it's as though they don't even exist. Yet other things like lampposts and fences will get in your way.
And do they damage you when you hit them?
I don't think so. I do find there was a section of fence that was just wide enough for my car. So I spent probably an extra minute trying to get my car through it to see if I could. And you could get through that gap. The thing is, if you can't go through it, the enemies also can't go through it. So you can get them to be stuck along the fence.
Okay.
The zombies don't move very fast at all. So there's one point where I was backing up just to see how far they would go. If they would follow me out into... So basically, if you think about the map, it's like a racetrack. And the fact that it's got straightaways and then curves on the end. There's a bit more to it, but that's the basic town area where all the zombies are. So I wanted to see if I could get them out into the curved area because they don't spawn there.
Okay.
But I don't think that they go that far. I think there's a point where they kind of stop. But they stop as a group. It's not like they'll all be bunched up against it.
Right, okay.
At the same time, by the end of the hour, I was really bored. So I was doing everything. I was jumping off everything. I was exploring everything.
Yeah.
I was looking for anything interesting. At the very end, I decided to just let my car sit and see how many points I could get. Because the zombies will attack your car, but when they attack your car, they explode.
So it's like Kit then.
A bit. So they touch the car, they die, you get a point. I got 147 points that way.
Just by doing nothing.
Oh, yeah.
What a great strategy.
So really, the minimum points should be about 147, unless you drive off the edge of the map.
Right.
But
so,
that's pretty much it. That's this whole game.
I mean, what happens to your car when you die, though? Does your car burst into flames? Does it explode? Does it disintegrate?
There's a bit of an animation, but your car is still there. So I think there's a giant dust cloud.
Okay.
It is though it exploded, but in the end screen, they have different sayings. The first one I got was the one I liked the best. Only a dead zombie is a good zombie. And they'll tell you your score.
Yeah.
Which even the first game, I got 228 points.
Right.
But like I said, my max is 310. I think because of the health limitation and because I couldn't really find a lot of stars, yeah, that's probably about as good as I'm going to do. This game, I'm going to be honest, it's $1.
Yep.
It's not bad. It's just not for me. It doesn't have any goals. You don't really lose anything by dying. So, did you ever play Dead Island?
A little bit, yeah.
You get to drive and run over zombies in that game too. But the thing is, if you don't run over the zombies, they could kill you. So there's a bit of satisfaction in the fact of you getting them before they get you. You also get points towards leveling up. There are some achievements that can accomplish. This game, it's just nothing. It's the same thing over and over again. Just driving over zombies, driving over skeletons. That's it. That's all the game is. But maybe this game isn't meant for me. I could easily see a kid between ages 5 and maybe 12. Kids that like doing the same thing over and over again. Or I don't know if it's available to play on a tablet, but I could totally see this being the kind of thing they would play on a tablet in the back seat while you're on a long car journey. And they could probably play this for an hour and probably be happy to play it for an hour. I don't know if they'd be happy playing more than an hour because there's only one level.
Right.
And 4 different cars. And again, no objectives. So there's no cars to earn.
Do the cars have different abilities?
They don't have different abilities, but they do handle a little bit differently.
Okay.
But no, there's no special abilities. So unfortunately, no.
It's like Destruction Derby 2. The 3 different cars you get, they just handle a little bit differently. That's all.
That's pretty much what this is. Yeah. So it's not bad, but it's just not a game that I would want to spend an hour on. I think after 15 minutes, I would have been happy to go, okay, I've seen it. I've done it. Game over.
Sorry, man. So what tags would you give it then?
Driving, cartoonish violence, probably either single level or repetitive, because that's pretty much what it is. So again, I think it's okay for $1, but I probably wouldn't play it again.
Would you want me to play it? Does it have cards?
I don't know. If it does, you probably already have them. I don't know if I would say you should definitely play it. I'd say it's worth playing. It's a really small game, so loading it up takes 0 time. And you could get your 15 minutes of joy out of it and then be done with it. Or, somebody else in your house would probably enjoy playing it. Especially around Halloween time.
Yeah. And so, would you recommend, who would you recommend this for then? So, like, kids?
Kids, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think anybody else would be a bit bored. There's just no level, there's no goal.
No depth to it, that's what it sounds like, yeah.
It's fun. It's a fun little experience for 15 minutes. $1, sure. For what they've given me, that's fine. I wouldn't say I would normally get an hour's worth of joy out of it, only because I had to play it for this. But I think there's a point where how cheap do we want to be? Do we want to say this game should be 15 cents because I got 15 minutes out of it? Or do we go, you know what? If it's $1, especially at base price, I think they know what it's worth. And I think that they were being pretty realistic. And their description is exactly what it was. Gravetown is the level.
Right, right.
And so I think that, I think they're being honest. They're throwing it out there. I think that the people who are being really harsh on it, I'm not sure if maybe early on it had bugs or it had more problems, but the good reviews all seem to be saying, I don't know why there's so many bad reviews. So it's almost like this game needs a lot of good reviews to get out of the quagmire that it is started in. But yeah, I wouldn't really recommend it to you as like, this is an amazing game. But if you want to drive around killing zombies for 15 minutes, this is your game.
So, buyer's remorse for confirmation then?
Honestly, I'm going to say confirmation. It's worth what I paid for, certainly, because if I've got this game, it was in a bundle. And which means I probably paid far less than $1 for it.
Yeah.
And even at $1, I'd say, if this is what you want, if you want some mindless driving around and killing cartoon zombies for 15 minutes to maybe an hour, go for it. If you have kids that you don't mind driving around and killing cartoon zombies, I would definitely recommend this one.
Buyer's confirmation.
Darren, what game did I find for you?
You have a drunk friend.
Amazingly, I was just looking through your library conveniently. What, you said you'd bought it like the day before or something?
Did I buy this? But yeah, so it's like if you like those kinds of games where, or like the old school Flash Quap game. Did you ever play Quap? Yeah, she does funny things. She'll do a dance at some point. She'll walk into a sofa and like just cartwheel over the top of it. I unlocked all the characters in my first playthrough. I don't know how.
Fantastic.
I don't know how I did that.
All this and more in the next episode of Buyer's Remorse.